My wish right now is for me to die. I am nothing in the world compared to Tyler. I am helpless. I am stupid, and all I do is want and need things. My tiny life, my little shit job, my Swedish furniture. I never told anyone this. But before I met Tyler, I was planning to buy a dog and name it Entourage. This is how bad your life can get. Kill me. I grab the steering wheel and crank us back into traffic. Now. Prepare to evacuate Seoul. Now. The mechanic wrestles the wheel toward the ditch, and I wrestle to fucking die. Now. The amazing miracle of death. When 1 second you're walking and talking, the next second you're an object. I am nothing, and not even that. Cold. Invisible. I smell leather. My seatbelt feels twisted like a straitjacket around me. When I try to sit up, I hit my head against the steering wheel. This hurts more than it should. My head is resting in the mechanic's lap, and as I look up, my eyes adjust to see the mechanic's face, high over me, smiling, driving, and I can see stars outside the driver's window. My hands and face are sticky with something. Blood? Buttercream frosting. The mechanic looks down. Happy birthday! I smell smoke and remember the birthday cake. I almost broke the steering wheel with your head, he says. Just nothing else. Just the night air and the smell of smoke, and the stars and the mechanic smiling and driving. My head in his lap. All of a sudden I don't feel like I have to sit up. Where's the cake? The mechanic says. On the floor. Just the night air and the smell of smoke is heavier. Did I get my wish? Up above me, outlined against the stars in the window, the face smiles. Those birthday candles? He says. They're the kind that never go out. In the starlight, my eyes adjust enough to see smoke braiding up from little fires all around us in the carpet. Chapter 19. The Fight Club mechanic is standing on the gas, raging behind the wheel in his quiet way. And we still have something important to do tonight. One thing I'll have to learn before the end of civilization is how to look at the stars and tell where I'm going. Things are quiet as driving a Cadillac through outer space. We must be off the freeway. The 3 guys in the back seat are passed out or asleep. You had a near-life experience, the mechanic says. He takes one hand off the steering wheel and touches the long welt where my forehead bounced off the steering wheel. My forehead is swelling enough to shut both my eyes, and he runs a cold fingertip down the length of the swelling. The corniche hits a bump, and the pain seems to bump out over my eyes like the shadow from the brim of a cap. Our twisted rear springs and bumper bark and creak in the quiet around our rush down the night road. The mechanic says how the back bumper of the corniche is hanging by its ligaments, how it was torn almost free when it cut an end of the truck's front bumper. I ask, is tonight part of his homework for Project Mayhem? Part of it, he says. I had to make 4 human sacrifices, and I have to pick up a load of fat. Fat. For the soap. What is Tyler planning? The mechanic starts talking, and it's pure Tyler Durden. I see the strongest and the smartest men who have ever lived, he says, his face outlined against the stars in the driver's window. And these men are pumping gas and waiting tables. The drop of his forehead, his brow, the slope of his nose, his eyelashes and the curve of his eyes, the plastic profile of his mouth talking, these are all outlined in black against the stars. If we could put these men in training camps and finish raising them. All a gun does is focus an explosion in one direction. You have a class of young, strong men and women, and they want to give their lives to something. Advertising has these people chasing cars and clothes they don't need, Generations have been working in jobs they hate, just so they can buy what they don't really need. We don't have a great war in our generation, or a Great Depression. But we do. We have a great war of the spirit. We have a great revolution against the culture. The Great Depression is our lives. We have a spiritual depression. We have to show these men and women freedom by enslaving them, and show them courage by frightening them. Napoleon bragged that he could train men to sacrifice their lives for a scrap of ribbon. Imagine, when we call a strike and everyone refuses to work until we redistribute the wealth of the world. Imagine hunting elk through the damp canyon forests around the ruins of Rockefeller Center. What you said about your job? The mechanic says. Did you really mean it? Yeah, I meant it. That's why we're on the road tonight, he says. We're a hunting party. We're hunting for fat. We're going to the medical waste dump. We're going to the medical waste incinerator. And there, among the discarded surgical drapes and wound dressings, and 10-year-old tumors and intravenous tubes, and discarded needles, scary stuff, really scary stuff. Among the blood samples and amputated tidbits, we'll find more money than we can haul away in one night, even if we were driving a dump truck. We'll find enough money to load this corniche down to the axle stops. Fat, the mechanic says. Liposuction fat sucked out of the richest thighs in America. The richest, fattest thighs in the world. Our goal is the big red bags of liposuction fat we'll haul back to Paper Street and render and mix with lye and rosemary and sell back to the very people who paid to have it sucked out. At $20 a bar, these are the only folks who can afford it. The richest, creamiest fat in the world, the fat of the land, he says. That makes tonight a kind of Robin Hood thing. The little wax fires sputter in the carpet. While we're there, he says, we're supposed to look for some of those hepatitis bugs, too. Chapter 20. The tears were really coming now, and one fat stripe rolled along the barrel of the gun and down the loop around the trigger to burst flat against my index finger. Raymond Hessel closed both eyes, so I pressed the gun hard against his temple, so we would always feel it pressing right there. And I was beside him, and this was his life, and he could be dead at any moment. This wasn't a cheap gun, and I wondered if salt might fuck it up. Everything had gone so easy, I wondered. I'd done everything the mechanic said to do. This was why we needed to buy a gun. This was doing my homework. We each had to bring Tyler 12 driver's licenses. This would prove we each made 12 human sacrifices. I parked tonight, and I waited around the block for Raymond Hessel to finish his shift at the all-night corner mart. And around midnight he was waiting for a night owl bus when I finally walked up and said hello. Raymond Hessel. Raymond didn't say anything. Probably he figured I was after his money, his minimum wage, the $14 in his wallet. Oh, Raymond Hessel, all 23 years of you, when you started crying, tears rolling down the barrel of my gun pressed to your temple. No, this wasn't about money. Not everything is about money. You didn't even say hello. You're not your sad little wallet. I said nice night, cold but clear. You didn't even say hello. I said don't run, or I'll have to shoot you in the back. I had the gun out, and I was wearing a latex glove. So if the gun ever became a People's Exhibit A, there'd be nothing on it except the dried tears of Raymond Hessel, Caucasian, aged 23, with no distinguishing marks. Then I had your attention. Your eyes were big enough that even in the streetlight, I could see they were antifreeze green. You were jerking backward and backward a little more every time the gun touched your face. as if the barrel was too hot or too cold. Until I said, "Don't step back," and then you let the gun touch you. But even then you rolled your head up and away from the barrel. You gave me your wallet like I asked. Your name was Raymond K. Hessel on your driver's license. You live at 1320 Southeast Benning, Apartment A. It had to be a basement apartment. They usually give basement apartment letters instead of numbers. Raymond K. Hessel. I was talking to you. Your head rolled up and away from the gun, and you said, "Yeah." You said, "Yes, you lived in a basement." You had some pictures in your wallet, too. There was your mother. This was a tough one for you. You'd have to open your eyes and see the picture of Mom and Dad, smiling, and see the gun at the same time. But you did. And then your eyes closed and you started to cry. You were going to cool the amazing miracle of death. 1 minute, you're a person. The next minute, you're an object. And Mom and Dad would have to call old doctor whoever and get your dental records, because there wouldn't be much left of your face. And Mom and Dad, they'd always expected so much more from you, and no, life wasn't fair. And now it was come to this. $14. This, I said, is your mom? Yeah. You were crying, sniffing, crying. You swallowed. Yeah. You had a library card. You had a video movie rental card, a social security card. $14 cash. I wanted to take the bus pass, but the mechanic said to only take the driver's license. An expired community college student card. You used to study something. You'd worked up a pretty intense cry at this point, so I pressed the gun a little harder against your cheek. You started to step back until I said, "Don't move, or you're dead right here." Now, what did you study? Where? In college, I said. You have a student card. Oh, you didn't know. Sob, swallow, sniff, stuff, biology. Listen, now you're going to die, Raymond K. Hessel, tonight. You might die in 1 second or in 1 hour. You decide. So lie to me. Tell me the first thing off the top of your head. Make something up. I don't give a shit. I have the gun. Finally, you were listening and coming out of the little tragedy in your head. Fill in the blank. What does Raymond Hessel want to be when he grows up? Go home. You said you just wanted to go home, please. No shit, I said. But after that, how did you want to spend your life? If you could do anything in the world. Make something up. You didn't know. Then you're dead right now, I said. I said, now, turn your head. Death to commence in 10, in 9, in 8. A vet, you said. You want to be a vet, a veterinarian. That means animals. You have to go to school for that. It means too much school, you said. You could be in school working your ass off, Raymond Hessel, or you could be dead. You choose. I stuffed your wallet into the back pocket of your jeans. So you really wanted to be an animal doctor. I took the saltwater muzzle of the gun off one cheek and pressed it against the other. Is that what you've always wanted to be, Dr. Raymond K. Hessel, a veterinarian? Yeah. No shit. No. No, you meant yeah. No shit, yeah. Okay, I said, and I pressed the wet end of the muzzle to the tip of your chin, and then the tip of your nose, and everywhere I pressed the muzzle, it left a shining wet ring of your tears. So, I said, go back to school. If you wake up tomorrow morning, you find a way to get back into school. I pressed the wet end of the gun on each cheek, and then your chin, and then against your forehead and left the muzzle pressed there. You might as well be dead right now, I said. I have your license. I know who you are. I know where you live. I'm keeping your license, and I'm going to check on you, Mr. Raymond K. Hessel. In 3 months, and then in 6 months, and then in a year. And if you aren't back in school on your way to being a veterinarian, you will be dead. You didn't say anything. Get out of here and do your little life. But remember, I'm watching you, Raymond Hessel. And I'd rather kill you than see you working a shit job for just enough money to buy cheese and watch television. Now I'm going to walk away, so don't turn around. This is what Tyler wants me to do. These are Tyler's words coming out of my mouth. I am Tyler's mouth. I am Tyler's hands. Everybody in Project Mayhem is part of Tyler Durden, and vice versa. Raymond K.K. Hessel, your dinner is going to taste better than any meal you've ever eaten. And tomorrow will be the most beautiful day of your entire life. Chapter 21. You wake up at Sky Harbor International. Set your watch back 2 hours. The shuttle takes me to downtown Phoenix. In every bar I go into, there are guys with stitches around the rim of an eye socket, where a good slam packed their face meat against its sharp edge. There are guys with sideway noses, and these guys at the bar see me with a puckered hole in my cheek, and we're an instant family. Tyler hasn't been home for a while. I do my little job. I go airport to airport to look at cars that people died in. The magic of travel. Tiny life. Tiny soaps. The tiny airline seats. Everywhere I travel, I ask about Tyler. In case I find him, the driver's licenses of my 12 human sacrifices are in my pocket. Every bar I walk into, every fucking bar, I see beat-up guys. Every bar, they throw an arm around me and want to buy me a beer. It's like I already know which bars are the Fight Club bars. I ask, have they seen a guy named Tyler Durden? It's stupid to ask if they know about Fight Club. The first rule is you don't talk about Fight Club. But have they seen Tyler Durden? They say never heard of him, sir. But you might find him in Chicago, sir. It must be the hole in my cheek. Everyone calls me sir. And they wink. You wake up at O'Hare and take the shuttle into Chicago. Set your watch ahead an hour. If you can wake up in a different place, if you can wake up in a different time, why can't you wake up as a different person? Every bar you go into, punched-out guys want to buy you a beer. And no, sir, they've never met this Tyler Durden. And they wink. They've never heard the name before, sir. I ask about Fight Club. Is there a Fight Club around here tonight? No, sir. The second rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. The punched-out guys at the bar shake their heads. Never heard of it, sir. But you might find this Fight Club of yours in Seattle, sir. You wake up at Meigs Field and call Marla to see what's happening on Paper Street. Marla says now all the space monkeys are shaving their heads. Their electric razor gets hot, and now the whole house smells like singed hair. The space monkeys are using lye to burn off their fingerprints. You wake up at SeaTac. Set your watch back 2 hours. The shuttle takes you to downtown Seattle. In the first bar you go into, the bartender is wearing a neck brace that tilts his head back so far he has to look down his purple smashed eggplant of a nose to grin at you. The bar is empty and the bartender says, "Welcome back, sir." I've never been to this bar, ever before. I ask if he knows the name Tyler Durden. The bartender grins with his chin stuck out above the top of the white neck brace and asks, "Is this a test?" "Yeah," I say, "it's a test. Has he ever met Tyler Durden?" "You stopped in last week, Mr. Durden," he says. "Don't you remember?" "Tyler was here." "You were here, sir." "I've never been in here before tonight." "If you say so, sir," the bartender says. "But Thursday night, You came in to ask how soon the police were planning to shut us down. Last Thursday night, I was awake all night with the insomnia. Wondering, was I awake? Was I sleeping? I woke up late Friday morning, bone-tired, and feeling I hadn't ever had my eyes closed. Yes, sir, the bartender says. Thursday night, you were standing right where you are now, and you were asking me about the police crackdown. And you were asking me how many guys we had to turn away from the Wednesday night fight club. The bartender twists his shoulders and braced neck to look around the empty bar and says, There's nobody that's going to hear, Mr. Durden, sir. We had a 27-count turnaway last night. The place is always empty the night after Fight Club. Every bar I've walked into this week, everybody's called me sir. Every bar I go into, the beat-up Fight Club guys all start to look alike. How can a stranger know who I am? You have a birthmark, Mr. Durden, the bartender says. On your foot. It's shaped like a dark red Australia with New Zealand next to it. Only Marla knows this. Marla and my father. Not even Tyler knows this. When I go to the beach, I sit with that foot tucked under me. The cancer I don't have is everywhere now. Everybody in Project Mayhem knows, Mr. Durden. The bartender holds up his hand. The back of his hand toward me. A kiss burned into the back of his hand. My kiss? Tyler's kiss. Everybody knows about the birthmark, the bartender says. It's part of the legend. You're turning into a fucking legend, man. I call Marla from my Seattle motel room to ask if we've ever done it. You know. Long distance, Marla says. What? Slept together. What? Have I ever, had sex with her? Christ! Well, she says. Have we ever had sex? You are such a piece of shit. Have we had sex? I could kill you. Is that a yes or a no? I knew this would happen, Marla says. You're such a flake. You love me, you ignore me, you save my life, then you cook my mother into soap. I pinch myself. I ask Marla how we met. In that testicle cancer thing, Marla says. Then you saved my life. I saved her life? You saved my life. Tyler saved her life. You saved my life. I stick my finger through the hole in my cheek and wiggle the finger around. This should be good for enough major league pain to wake me up. Marla says, You saved my life. The Regent Hotel. I'd accidentally attempted suicide, remember? Oh. That night, Marla says, I said I wanted to have your abortion. We've just lost cabin pressure. I ask Marla what my name is. We're all going to die. Marla says, Tyler Durden. Your name is Tyler Buttwipe for Brains Durden. You live at 5123 Northeast Paper Street, which is currently teeming with your little disciples, shaving their heads and burning their skin off with lye. I've got to get some sleep. You've got to get your ass back here, Marla yells over the phone, before those little trolls make soap out of me. I've got to find Tyler. The scar on her hand. I ask Marla. How did she get it? You, Marla says. You kissed my hand. I've got to find Tyler. I've got to get some sleep. I've got to sleep. I've got to go to sleep. I tell Marla good night. And Marla's screaming is smaller, smaller, smaller. Gone as I reach over and hang up the phone. Chapter 22. All night long, your thoughts are on the air. Am I sleeping? Have I slept at all? This is the insomnia. Try to relax a little more with every breath out, but your heart's still racing and your thoughts tornado in your head. Nothing works. Not guided meditation. You're in Ireland. Not counting sheep. You count up the days, hours, minutes since you can remember falling asleep. Your doctor laughed. Nobody ever died from lack of sleep. The old bruised fruit way your face looks, you think you were dead. After 3 o'clock in the morning in a motel bed in Seattle, it's too late for you to find a cancer support group. Too late to find some little blue amytal sodium capsules or lipstick red secanols. The whole Valley of the Dolls play set. After 3 in the morning, you can't get into a fight club. You've got to find Tyler. You've got to get some sleep. Then you're awake, and Tyler's standing in the dark next to the bed. You wake up. The moment you were falling asleep, Tyler was standing there saying, "Wake up. Wake up. We solved the problem with the police here in Seattle. Wake up." The police commissioner wanted a crackdown on what he called gang-type activity and after-hours boxing clubs. But not to worry, Tyler says. Mr. Police Commissioner shouldn't be a problem, Tyler says. We have him by the balls now. I ask if Tyler's been following me. Funny, Tyler says. I wanted to ask you the same thing. You talked about me to other people, you little shit. You broke your promise. Tyler was wondering when I'd figure him out. Every time you fall asleep, Tyler says, I run off and do something wild, something crazy, something completely out of my mind. Tyler kneels down next to the bed and whispers, Last Thursday, you fell asleep? I took a plane to Seattle for a little fight club look-see. To check the turn-away numbers, that sort of thing. Look for new talent. We have Project Mayhem in Seattle, too. Tyler's fingertip traces the swelling along my eyebrows. We have Project Mayhem in Los Angeles and Detroit. A big Project Mayhem going on in Washington, D.C., in New York. We have Project Mayhem in Chicago like you would not believe. Tyler says, I can't believe you broke your promise. The first rule is you don't talk about Fight Club. He was in Seattle last week when a bartender in a neck brace told him that the police were going to crack down on fight clubs. The police commissioner himself wanted it special. What it is, Tyler says, is we have police who come to fight at Fight Club and really like it. We have newspaper reporters and law clerks and lawyers, and we know everything before it's going to happen. We were going to be shut down. At least in Seattle, Tyler says. I ask what did Tyler do about it. What did we do about it? Tyler says. We called an assault committee meeting. There isn't a me and a you anymore, Tyler says, and he pinches the end of my nose. I think you've figured that out. We both use the same body, but at different times. We called a special homework assignment, Tyler says. We said, bring me the steaming testicles of his esteemed honor, Seattle Police Commissioner whoever. I'm not dreaming. Yes, Tyler says, you are. We put together a team of 14 space monkeys, and 5 of these space monkeys were police, and we were every person in the park where his honor walks his dog tonight. Don't worry, Tyler says. The dog is all right. The whole attack took 3 minutes less than our best run-through. We'd projected 12 minutes. Our best run-through was 9 minutes. We have 5 space monkeys hold him down. Tyler's telling me this, but somehow, I already know it. 3 space monkeys were on lookout. 1 space monkey did the ether. 1 space monkey tugged down his esteemed sweatpants. The dog is a spaniel, and it's just barking and barking. Barking and barking. Barking and barking. One space monkey wrapped the rubber band 3 times, till it was tight around the top of his esteemed sack. "One monkey's between his legs with a knife," Tyler whispers, with his punched-out face by my ear. And I'm whispering in his most esteemed police commissioner's ear that he better stop the Fight Club crackdown, or we'll tell the world that his esteemed honor does not have any balls. Tyler whispers, "How far do you think you'll get, Your Honor?" The rubber band is cutting off any feeling down there. "How far do you think you'll get in politics if the voters know you have no nuts?" By now, His Honor has lost all feeling. Man, his nuts are ice cold. If even one Fight Club has to close, we'll send his nuts east and west. One goes to the New York Times, and one goes to the Los Angeles Times. One to each, sort of press release style. The space monkey took the ether rag off his mouth, and the commissioner said, "Don't." And Tyler said, "We have nothing to lose except Fight Club." The commissioner, he had everything. All we were left was the shit and the trash of the world. Tyler nodded to the space monkey with a knife between the commissioner's legs. Tyler asked, "Imagine the rest of your life with your bag flapping empty." The commissioner said, "No. And don't. Stop, please. Oh, God, help me. Help. No. Me. God. Me. Stop them." And the space monkey slips the knife in and only cuts off the rubber band. 6 minutes total, and we were done. "Remember this," Tyler said. "The people you're trying to step on, we're everyone you depend on. We're the people who do your laundry and cook your food and serve your dinner. We make your bed. We guard you while you're asleep. We drive the ambulances. We direct your call. We are cooks and taxi drivers, and we know everything about you. We process your insurance claims and credit card charges. We control every part of your life. We are the middle children of history, raised by television to believe that someday we'll be millionaires and movie stars and rock stars. But we won't, and we're just learning this fact," Tyler said. "So don't fuck with us." The space monkey had to press the ether down, hard on the commissioner sobbing, and put him all the way out. Another team dressed him and took him and his dog home. After that, the secret was up to him to keep. And no, we didn't expect any more Fight Club crackdown. His esteemed honor went home, scared, but intact.